Sup nerds. The MCU sucks, Marvel's going downhill, Kang will never live up to Thanos, and MODOK is awful. Whoa! I understand that's what you guys are all saying. I understand the MCU hasn't been as good as it has been the past few years. It was just so good in Phase 3 and Phase 4, it was kind of downhill. In Phase 5, it's not looking great, but I do think these next few projects will be great. Kang, I think he will live up to Thanos. Maybe not exactly on the same tier as him, but he'll be definitely close. I think he will be great because Jonathan Majors seems amazing. I don't think he also did anything in that whole situation that's been happening. If you don't know about it, look it up, whatever. Don't you dare put shade on Fallen MODOK. He is Fallen amazing. I will not take his disrespect. That is Fallen, that's awful. Don't you Fallen do that. In full seriousness, I don't think the MCU is irredeemable. I think there's definitely a good chance that they can bring it back and these next few projects can be great because Disney has messed up everything. The CGI work, like the people who've been working on the CGI, they were told to split time between working on Wakanda Forever and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and that's just not Fallen fair, and they prioritize Wakanda Forever over Quantumania, and that is not fair because the spectacles of the Quantum Realm need a lot of work, and everything needs a lot of work, so like, that's just not right. I'll probably go over a video on the future of the MCU very, very soon, but for now, we're going to talk about Quantumania because the characters are really good underneath all the stories that's been in Phase 4 and Phase 5, and I want to talk about the roots of Quantumania and how it's actually pretty good. It's just, we're very, like, blinded by, we're just frustrated with Marvel that we're not getting absolute amazing Spider-Man No Way Home, Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War movies like that. Like, I understand that we can't expect that every time, and I know not everyone expects that every time, and they're doing the bare minimum. To be honest, I'm just being honest. I think they're doing the bare minimum, but there is still good stories underneath that, and then we can still build off of that. I get like people like that hate Star Wars will like hate the sequels and want nothing to do with that, but like that's still like the future of Star Wars. Like we're gonna have to build off of that. Like I understand. Like, people think that's awful, we can't do anything with it, but I still think the shows like The Mandalorian and The Bad Batch and stuff like that can build off that, like, era and still make it good. But with Quantumania, it's a visually beautiful movie. I think it's pretty funny. I get some people didn't, but I thought it was pretty funny. We have a very intimidating villain with Kang. I think even though he isn't what we fully expected, there is with this whole Council of Kangs is going to make him even better. It's going to make him an even better character. But most importantly, from this movie, we got MODOK. Also, by the way, if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out. And MODOK, rest in peace. I know that was a lot of cringe, but let's just fucking take this adventure on the yellow brick road. And let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. First, we're going to be covering its humor, because Ant-Man, its whole trilogy, all three movies are literally in the top 6 funniest Marvel movies. I at least believe that. I might do a tier list on the funniest Marvel movies on this channel. We'll have to see. This movie is funny, whether you like it or not. I think it's full-on funny. There's a few parts that are kind of hit or miss, but most of it's really, really funny. The main source of humor definitely comes from MODOK. Like, there is stuff from Scott and Hope and Cassie and Hank and Janet Van Dyne and whoever. Like, there's some stuff from Kang, not really. I'm glad that they didn't really make him like this funny, goofy character. Like, they actually tried to make him intimidating. I understand that people weren't really happy with him, but I think they did a really good job not making him over, like, supposed to be funny. Like, there was 2 parts that I loved. The first part was MODOK saying, "At least I died an Avenger," and then Scott's just sitting there like, "I don't think I have, like, yeah, you're an Avenger. Yeah, we're proud of you for turning yourself around, bud." But like, he doesn't know if he's like, can I call anyone like an Avenger? Like, can I bestow that title? Can I do that? And it was awkward and it was funny, and I just thought it was great. The other thing that I thought was funny was the ooze monster.
How many holes do you have?
He has 7 holes.
Yeah, that's right.
The Fallen, like, I want holes, and then he finally gets shot in the end, and you're like, oh, he's got shot. Oh my gosh. And I was like, oh, he's not gonna die, but I was like, what's gonna? And then I actually thought, I was like, okay, he's gonna have holes. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be excited he's got holes. And then Fallen, he just turned into a Fallen monster with a big Fallen mouth, and he just Fallen sucked everyone in. Wait up, Fallen. we're moving on to talking about CGI. Yeah, we're moving on. So for the CGI, a lot of it looked amazing. Like, I think with the limited time that they had and them splitting it between Wakanda Forever and Quantumania, like, that's first of all messed up. On this big project, you're supposed to be splitting your time from working on Wakanda Forever and Quantumania. That's not right. Your brain can't flip-flop between those two things. They're very separate and very different visual effects, and I think they did a great job, because the giant hug between Scott and Cassie didn't look weird that they were hugging, and they were big, but I thought they looked great. I think MODOK looked great, even though there was a few shots where I was like, this is they could have done a better job. There was a lot of frames that you could tell that they put a lot of work into, especially him dying at the end. You could tell that they put work into him looking good, because you're just looking at him for a really long time. So if they actually were able to put that much effort into each individual frame of that movie, then yes, I think they could have made him look better. The only complaint I kind of have is Kang. Kang looked meh. There was a lot of shots where I was like, his mask doesn't really look natural. His face, when his eyes lit up and he was taking out the freedom fighters, the shot at the very end, him incinerating everyone, those shots looked good. He looked like a good character. If he looked like that the entire film, then I'd be happy. But it was meh. I don't want to trash on these people who are doing these special effects and the CGI and everything, because you can see potential of the characters that we love look good. It's not like Marvel's hiring bad companies to make these big projects just for them to suck. It's Disney messing everything up. So we're getting a refresher. The CGI didn't look awful. It didn't really throw me off, but there was a few shots where they could have looked better. But we're going to move on. And now we're going to be talking about visuals. We're usually in the quantum realm during this movie, so we're not going to talk about anything outside of that. We're going to talk about specifically in the quantum realm, everything's going on, and we're going to break it into the sectors, because we go a lot of places in the quantum realm, and it's full and big, and there's just different areas, because some are very new and they look good, and then some are just trashy, and it's whatever. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's go. The inner city, Kang's area, it looks absolutely amazing. As Squidward would say, it's full in chrome, and it's got nice blue highlights in it, it's very very Space Stone. It just looks good, and you can tell it's from Kang's 31st century technology. It looks like it's futuristic, and it looks great. And you can definitely tell it's from Mr. Fulton's string cheese, from Multiverse of Madness's Fulton technology, because they're Fulton related, or whatever. I hope we get more of that in the next few movies when we hear about the Fantastic Four and hear their connection with Kang, and you get my point. But mainly this reminds me of Coruscant. It's a very metallic, just everything looks so confined and basic and plain. It reminds me of Coruscant, and also has ant in the word. I don't think that really has anything to do with it, but it was a cool detail. Anyways, there's a lot of circles around. It reminds me of the Ten Rings, the way they move, and the way the blue magic kind of reminds me of Wenwu's magic, the way he wielded them. Kang's evil, and when Wu was evil, and they both fall on, are wielding these rings, and they're blue. But when Shang-Chi has them, they're orange, and they're cool, and whatever. And it also reminds me of the bangle, and I think they're all connected in some way, because I feel in Miss Marvel there was a thing back to the clandestine. The Ten Rings and the bangle are somehow linked. I don't know how. I think we're going to hear about that in the Marvels or in another Shang-Chi project. I think they're going to do a show. Something like that. We're going to hear about that soon. But they also seem like they're linked with Kang. I don't know if they're linked because of a specific reason or just because they're very powerful weapons that Kang based his technology on. And this progress through these centuries led up to Kang, and Kang just based his stuff off these very powerful things. Let's move on to the Freedom Fighters area. The Freedom Fighters area is just sad. Kang is living up in his Fulton paradise skyscraper, and then you got these just locals that just don't want to be with Kang. They don't want to apply to his rules and everything, because they just don't like him, and he took everything from them, and they just want to live there, and he just takes everything, and he's commanding them, and so they hide in this dark, gloomy, sad area. And yeah, it just sucks because they're really cool people, and then they just have to hide away. And then everything else, the sky, like the skyline, the whole, like, just like everything that's not in the inner city, but also not in the gloomy place where every freedom fighter is hiding. Like, it's just beautiful. The whole quantum realm just, like, reminds me of the Doctor Strange movie. Like, their visuals in that are just so close to the quantum realm. Like, it just, they both look so amazing. And I just, like, that's why I can't complain about stuff like CGI and special effects and, like, just the way things look, because the quantum realm looks absolutely beautiful, chaotic, but also breathtaking. It's crazy how they do that, going with these, like, rocks that just are, like, floating around, and then just this beautiful, like, a cosmic looking skyline. It's just amazing. But they also have stuff like weird animals and creatures that just fly around and attacking everyone, and it's just so chaotic. And then you just sit there and you look, and it's just falling breathtaking, and it's just amazing. And I love how much detail they put into that, and I couldn't be happier. And now we're moving on to main characters. First, we have Hank. Hank kind of gets pushed off to the side this movie, and then he comes through at the end. But the whole movie kind of seems just off. He can't really connect to the people around him, especially Janet and Hope, which he's around, like, for most of the movie. Janet is on edge the whole movie. He won't really talk to anyone. Very secretive, very quiet. Just kind of wants to, like, move through everything very quick. Like, her head's on a swivel, not able to focus on Hank. And then Hope wants to jump into action, but she can't until later because she doesn't even know what's happening, and she just wants to stay safe and doesn't want to attack anyone that she's not supposed to. And it's just hard because they're all fighting each other, which isn't bad, but it's just not really important for the movie, and it kind of sucks because I wish Janet wasn't that quiet over the whole movie. Like, you would think she'd want to tell these people, like, hey, I messed up, let's fix this, not like, I'm gonna be quiet about it and then finally tell you until it's too late. You know, it just sucks. Hank kind of gets pushed off to the side. Not bad, he just really couldn't do anything. All he could really do is just be mesmerized about, like, the implications of the scientific stuff of the quantum realm, just, like, the beings that are, like, hidden in the quantum realm that he didn't even know about. And he studied this his entire life. Like, that's insane. Cassie, we have Cassie. She is the voice of the people. She has this Avengers, like, instinct, and she just wants to do more. And her dad kind of discourages her, like, the entire movie, and it kind of just, like, comes to a halt when they get to her quantum realm. She kind of be like, yeah, my fault, I messed up. Like, of course she's gonna have consequences. Like, that's just how Avengers work. They move through the consequences. They don't just, like, stop and move on. They, like, try to, like, fix the problem. Like, of course that's gonna make more problems, but that's just how life goes. And the movie kind of just, like, gets rid of that, and it kind of sucks because she is the next, like, form. She's a young Avenger. Like, this original storyline, I believe, had Iron Lad in it, but, you know, Marvel, whatever, just throw it out the fucking window because we want to delay everything, and it just does not work, and it just sucks. It just sucks. Because I would love to see the formation of the Young Avengers now, but I guess we have to wait because we're delaying everything, and it just kind of sucks. But we're going to be patient, hopefully. I know it's hard, but you kind of just got to be patient. Anyways, I like Cassie's character. I think she's great. Not my favorite. Can't really do much in this movie, but kind of be there. And then we have Hope. Hope just wanted to like, be an Avenger. Like, she's there for Scott, like, romantically and Avengerly, and then she's there for Cassie to, like, look up to, because Hope still has that Avenger drive that Scott just doesn't seem to have. He wants to be a dad, and he wants to be there for Cassie, and he just wants to, like, live his life, because he's been gone for a lot of his life. He's been in jail. He was, like, there for the blip, so he had to wait 5 years to see his daughter, and his daughter got older, and it just sucked. And it just sucked. And then he just finally is able to sit down. They beat Thanos, and he just wants to spend time with his daughter, and his daughter has this Avenger drive that he also had, and he kind of just lost it. I hope it comes back. That's kind of why I wish he died in the movie. Like, he, like, finally fulfills, like, he got what he wants, and I know it kind of sucks. We don't want to see him go, but I feel like he's at the end of his story arc, and I feel like in Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars or whatever, he's definitely going to die, which is going to be really sad, and I'm going to hate it, but it's probably what's going to happen. Hope is just, she the two characters that she had the most connections with, you would think her parents would be the two characters she had the most connection with, but they were both kind of off in their own worlds, and she just wanted to help, and they were kind of just doing their own thing. So the two most characters that she had bonds with, she wasn't with the entire movie, and it just sucked. And then we have Janet. Janet pissed me off. Why in QUANTUMANIA are we so quiet, but in Ant-Man and the Wasp, just the first one, like, why is she just be like, oh yeah, just go in the quantum realm, you'll be fine, let's go get this folding power source. And then to get out of the quantum realm, she had to send a folding signal. And then Cassie does it, and she's like, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm gonna be pissed though. Like, I don't get that. Like, I think you can explain it in some way or form, or however you want to explain it, but on its surface, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and it just sucks that they had to write it that way. I think they could have done a way better job with it, but whatever. When she was in her element and talking to Chang? Who the fuck is Chang? Talking to Kang, she was great. Like, I think Michelle Pfeiffer is a great actress, and she does a fucking great job with that. But in this movie, it just didn't really work. But, you know, it's fine. And then we have Kang, very disappointing. I wish he could have did more, would have been, like, more intimidating, and I understand. Oh yeah, he's still alive probably, but like, it just sucks. I just wish he was better. He wasn't bad, he was a little intimidating, and he seems scary, and there's a lot of potential. I'm gonna let Marvel cook, I'm gonna let them do their job, and hopefully he's gonna be good, because he kinda has to be for this whole Fulton phase to work. You know, the Jonathan Majors seems like a really good actor, and I thought he was great in Loki season 1, and hopefully he's gonna be great in Loki season 2, and I'm just excited. But I think the main thing I am most excited about is that eventually, at the end of the, like, Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty, Kang will come out of that probability storm, because I don't think he's dead. I think he's going to come out of the probability storm smarter and stronger and better, and he's going to be Kang Prime, because that Kang, if he's able to get out, means he's able to work with his variants. Scott wasn't able to work with his variants at first, but then when he was in there, they all, like, wanted to help Cassie, and that was their main goal, and they were able to work together. Kang is kind of all over the place, so it's going to be hard, but I think eventually he's going to be able to work with them, and it's going to be dangerous, because he's going to be smarter and better and stronger. So that's exciting. But now we're going to move on to the main character of the movie. Scott should have been used in this movie to have conflicts with Hope and conflicts with Cassie a lot, because I feel like they should have been together the whole movie, and it should have been a dynamic of Hope trying to be there for Scott, but Scott wanting to be a dad and wanting to relax and not jump into these Avengers situations, and Cassie and Hope both wanting to help out and be in those Avengers situations, and then Cassie, like, wanting to be there with her dad and, like, spend time with him, but she also wants to be her own self, and eventually, I think at the end of this movie, Scott should realize that, yes, he needs to set her free, and she needs to fulfill her destiny and become an Avenger like him before. He should have died at the end after realizing that, and, like, been like, it's okay, like, I'm proud of you, and it should have been really sad and great, but no, of course, let him live. Let him live. Better do that in another movie coming up. I don't know. We'll have to see. Alright, now we have the side characters. First, we have Veb. He was Fulton really dope. I really liked him. He just was very goofy and fun, and I don't know, I liked it. I like that stupid little humor. But then you got Quaz, the mind-reading type character. I thought that was Fulton really cool. I thought, like, he was really cool. He didn't need to be someone like Reed Richards. I didn't need him to be that. I just wanted him to come back in the future. Like, it doesn't seem like he's gonna come back for any more movies or shows or whatever. Like, I wish he did, because he seems like a really cool character we could more, like, dive into more. But, you know, leave him. Fine. Whatever. Finally, Jentora also seems really dope, but they didn't really give her a backstory, so she was just kind of just, like shooting people with laser beams the whole movie. Like, and she was a good leader, but that was pretty much it. And then we have MODOK. I get he was a little goofy. I understand that, but MODOK's supposed to be a little goofy. I get you wanted him to be a little scarier. I understand. I get that. And I think he should have been a little scarier. But no matter how you feel about MODOK, I thought he was great, and I think you should think he was great too. But if you don't, it's fine. But I think at least we should be glad he died an Avenger. From the moment that we go to this little Fulton planet bar place, whatever, in the quantum realm, and we see this Fulton ship go down to Fulton the bar, and it's Krylar, and it's Bill Murray's character. I'm like, yup, Lando. We're about to get Fulton Landos. He made a deal with the Fulton Devil, and made a deal with Darth Vader, Fulton Kang Conqueror, and now he's like this lord, and he's eating good, and he's rich, and he's whatever, and he's kind of got that like flirty personality, like Fulton Janet had to she slept with him a few times. You could tell she had her needs. Understandable. I get you were down there for a little while. I get it. I think you should have been Fulton committed to Hank, and you should have waited till Fulton got saved. But no, fine, whatever. It's okay. Anyways, from the moment I saw him, I was like, fancy suit, seems a little like suspicious. Like, why is he here? What are we doing here? Lando. Moment I Fulton saw him, I was like, that's what his character is gonna be, and I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was great, but it was cool. But then we have the plot. We have the main storyline just being Cassie and Scott fighting, and it's a father-daughter like movie, and it's like Cassie finally growing up and being her own person, and they're arguing about like which fights to take, what fights not to take, and I feel like there was a lot of good stuff there, and like we as like the kids like need to grow up and be our own selves, and the parents need to let people like let their kids like grow up and be who they want to be, and let them just like go free. Like I feel like that's like a very like, oh, it's a Marvel storyline, it's very sweet, it's very wholesome, and I feel like it could have been great, and it could have been sad, and could have killed off Scott, and it would have been amazing, and it could have been funny and intimidating with Kang, and it would have been great. But then Marvel just decommits. They just don't want to Fulton commit to a storyline. They like make a storyline and then they backtrack, and they just like, there's all this weirdness happening and all this confusion, and Janet's quiet the whole movie, and then it's this Kang, whatever, and then it's like, where is the heart to this movie where it's like it's a parent-child like relationship movie, and then it just like gets thrown out the window, and it just sucks. It's because everything's thrown off, and they just don't know. Marvel, I don't even think knows where they're going, but I feel like they're getting a clearer sight now, which I'm glad about, and they like finally are hopefully gonna get their CGI right, their humor right, and their storylines like on track, because that's just what they need to Fulton do. I think they'll be fine. They changed the movie's ending a month prior to the release. To the release, not to a trailer, not to the whatever. A month to the release, they changed the Fulton movie. Just the ending, but like that just sucks. Like I feel like they had a storyline and they wanted to do Young Avengers, but then they like are backtracking, and they like need to wait to set up the Young Avengers because those movies aren't going to come out till later, because they're probably going to have to delay a bunch of stuff, and it's going to suck. But I think it'll be okay. It'll be fine. It's just some stuff might not come out or might be delayed a while, and it's going to suck, but we're going to have to be patient, and we're going to have to wait, and I'm glad they're putting on the brakes so that they can actually get good content out. That's all I want. I'm happy to wait, and it's going to be fun. And then we have the ending. We're going to go more in depth about on it, and I just want to talk about, like, either they should have killed off Hope and Scott, or they should have just killed off Scott, or they should have been stuck in the quantum realm. Something. I think they should have been stuck in the quantum realm, and then either, I think Hope should have gotten stuck in the quantum realm and Scott died, or only Scott died and Hope was stuck in the quantum realm. But I think it's appropriate that they both got stuck in the quantum realm. Of course, I don't know why they brought it back. At the end of the movie, they should have been stuck in the quantum realm. Cassie was very worried and concerned. He was like, oh my gosh, like, what's gonna happen with Kang? And she would have had the realization that Scott did at the very end of the movie, like, did we do the right thing? Whatever. Like, I think that would have been great. And then, so she panics and she tries to build stuff to get her dad back and to get Hope back, or whoever. And so she builds the stuff, and she finally makes this portal type thing, and she thinks it's gonna access the stuff from the quantum realm, but it's actually gonna bring in Iron Lad somehow. I think they can do a better job of explaining it. That's not my job. I think if they had some time, they'd be able to figure it out. She brings in Iron Lad. Iron Lad walks through the portal. She thinks her dad's gonna walk through, and he's like, you have to leave your dad. We need to go form the Young Avengers right now. We need to go stop Kang, and we can get your dad later. Whatever. Like, or like, he'll figure out a way to get out. You just gotta trust me. And like, that would have been great. But That's not what happened. Final thing, I think the whole thought process that if they didn't stop Kang, bad things were gonna happen. Like, either way, no matter what you do, bad things are gonna happen. So you have to just deal with the Council of Kangs and take out as many Kangs as you can, one at a time at least. They'll figure out an exact way to stop the Kangs. I don't even understand, like, the thought process of how you're gonna stop them. But yeah, like, that's a whole crazy concept we're gonna deal with in Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty. So we'll move into that later. All right, finally, we're gonna end it with my problems and my overall ranking. My problems is that the whole plot just felt off. It felt strange. While still good, it just needed to be like a solid plot and just needed to stay something. And my second complaint is the ending. The ending should have stayed what it was rumored to be. And now, let's move on to my overall ranking. My overall ranking is going to be broken up with a bunch of different things. A bunch of stuff is important in this movie, but there's some things that are important than others. So, I'm going to give a rank out of 10, but that rank is also going to be taken by a percentage. So, if a thing like quotes is a thing compared to humor, like an Ant-Man movie, humor is way more important than the quotes, right? So, this is going to be taken by 20 or 25%, and then the quotes are going to be taken by like 10. Something like that. I'm going to specify on the side, but I'm going to tell you out of 10 how much it is, and then how much of a percentage I'm taking from that, and I'll give you the calculations on the screen so you can understand where I got my number. The cinematography, I give a 7.5. It looks folding pretty good. The message is a 7. Kind of gets a little messed up, but still at heart, like, it was really good. The top 3 moments was an 8.5. I thought it was really funny, and there was a lot of good moments in it, even though it wasn't a great film. The quotables was an 8. There was a lot of, like, again, funny parts in this movie, so it was very quotable at certain points, and I thought that was pretty great. The best camera shots, the CGI beings, and the visual symbolism, I'm gonna give an 8.5. I thought they all looked pretty great, even though they were splitting time between Wakanda Forever and QUANTUMANIA on the CGI stuff, but I thought it looked pretty amazing. For the sound effects and score, I'm gonna give a 7.5. The soundtrack was pretty folding good, like, not amazing, nothing like I'm gonna like fully remember, but the just by itself, the Yellow Brick Road by Elton John just like worked so perfectly, and it just, I don't know, I just felt so fun. When they put that in the folding trailer, that just folding hyped me up. I don't know why, it just was great, and it's all over TikTok now, and yeah, it's just folding good. And then finally, for how well this film does what it's supposed to do for its genre, I'm gonna give it a 9. That gives us a total score of 8.05 out of 10. Not bad, pretty good on the upper scale of the MCU rankings. I'm not going to show you my tier list yet. I'm going to make you wait till probably Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, because that's coming soon. I'm excited about that. Just you wait for that. That'll be pretty full and exciting. So that's another video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is not a must-see movie, but it is pretty good. Like, you're not going to fold and scratch your eyes out because of how terrible it is. Speaking about how terrible things are, you're gonna hear my folding MCU tier list, MCU ranking video is coming soon. That's definitely gonna fold and come soon. Maybe a week or two, depending on what video I decide to release first. I'm sorry about the delay. I'm just lazy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just lazy. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but that's just how life is, and I'm gonna have to deal with it, and we're gonna throw it together, and thank you for sticking with me. But yeah, this is Geeko. Have a nice day. Even if you cannot have a fantastic day today, have a fantastic day tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya, nerds!